Welcome to Friday's first video with new stories from Ethiopia and Somalia. Firstly, a Chinese company has announced a massive investment for Ethiopia. 2.9 billion US dollars will be invested in Ethiopia in coming months. A second news story is from Somalia, Ethiopia border. Al-Shabaab armed group fighters attacked border towns 2 days ago, and then they entered Somali region of Ethiopia. Now we have received some reports which indicate that Somali Special Force is trying to encircle these Al-Shabaab fighters inside Somali region of Ethiopia. Can we say that Al-Shabaab fighters are on the run in Somali region, or they are in control of some key places in the Somali region of Ethiopia? Thirdly, we have some comments, remarks of Gata Choreda for you, who spoke about peace process, about reconstruction project for Tigray, about fuel supplies to Tigray, about the role of African Union in the upcoming talks. What did he say? Fourthly, according to some government officials, some communication devices have been captured by government forces on Sudan-Ethiopia border near Humera town, western Tigray. An attempt was being made to smuggle these devices into western Tigray from Sudan. And lastly, a Tigrayan diaspora festival has been cancelled in Washington, D.C. For several days, we have been seeing a social media campaign for this festival. It was a fundraising festival as well. Why was it cancelled a few hours ago in Washington, D.C.? Firstly, viewers, first news story is about Chinese investment in Ethiopia in coming months. A Chinese company will invest around 2.9 billion US dollars in Ethiopia. GCL Poly is a Chinese company. Since 2013, this company has been operating in Ogaden region of Somalia. It has been involved in exploration of oil and natural gas, and it has discovered huge reserves of natural gas and crude oil in the Somali region of Ethiopia. According to some estimates, it has discovered 5 trillion cubic meters of natural gas reserves in Ogaden and 4 billion tons of crude oil. Now, the company is going to start the project of extraction of this natural gas, which will be then transported via a pipeline to Djibouti. In Djibouti, it will be converted into LNG, and then LNG will be exported. A pipeline will be built between Ethiopia and Djibouti, around 700-kilometer long pipeline. The company is due to start its work in the last quarter of this year, and production will start in 2025. But investment will start definitely. It has already started, but it will intensify, it will increase in coming months. The company is now getting in touch with other investors, other companies, because it's a huge project, 2.9 billion US dollar investment in Ethiopia. Ogaden region has known reserves of natural gas and oil. but Ethiopian governments could not work proactively to extract natural gas and oil in Ogaden region. In 2013, the company was issued a license. Around 9 years have passed, and still in coming months the project will start. Let's see, can GCL Poly find investors to start this project, which matters a lot for Ethiopian economy. Second news story is from the Somali region of Ethiopia, where we know that more than 2 days ago, Al-Shabaab fighters from Somalia carried out an attack. They took control of two towns, Yeet and Ato, on Somalia-Ethiopia border. The towns are in Somalia. Then Al-Shabaab fighters entered Somali region of Ethiopia. Al-Shabaab claimed to have killed around 80 Somali Special Force soldiers as well. And around a week ago, Ethiopian government claimed that it killed an Al-Shabaab commander in Afdir zone of Somali region. The commander was running a recruitment camp in Afdir zone of Somali region, and after that we saw this attack from Al-Shabaab, not only in border areas but inside Somali region of Ethiopia as well. Ogaden National Liberation Front ONLF yesterday confirmed in a statement that fighting was inside Somali region of Ethiopia. Now what we have learned is that reportedly Somali region special forces have encircled Al-Shabaab fighters in Somali region. Al-Shabaab fighters were trying to move towards mountainous areas, to use these areas as their launching pads for further attacks. But reportedly they have been cornered, they have been surrounded by a Somali region special force. And in Hargale district, there is a place called Hulul. Near Hulul, reportedly dozens of Al-Shabaab fighters have been encircled by Somali special force members. And these Al-Shabaab fighters, reportedly they have set their vehicles on fire. They were trying to move towards some areas, mountainous areas, which they could use for further attacks, but they have been cornered, and Somali special force members are laying siege to Al-Shabaab positions near Hulul. So it is being said that it would be difficult for Al-Shabaab to break this siege. Al-Shabaab fighters could be killed. How many are these? Some say around 100. Around 100 Al-Shabaab fighters have been encircled. How many Somali special force members are there? Hundreds, and reinforcements are arriving too. We were discussing yesterday that Ethiopian National Defense Force was not involved in this operation. Why? Because perhaps Somali Special Force is in a position to control the incursion from Al-Shabaab into Somali region. That is why ENDF has not been seen in Somali region. Al-Shabaab fighters are smaller in number, a few less than 100. Of course, it would be difficult for them to gain ground in the Somali region of Ethiopia. But they have managed to breach the security of Ethiopia-Somalia border. They entered Ethiopian border. It means that Ethiopian border security mechanism needs an overhaul. Al-Shabaab, it means, can carry out attacks inside Somali region of Ethiopia. So we could see a change of plan when it comes to border security on the part of Ethiopian government. We could see more deployment of Ethiopian National Defense Force. We'll have incoming videos about this ongoing fighting between Somali Special Force and Al-Shabaab fighters in Hargale. Thirdly, we have a new story about Gata Choreda, Tigray presidential spokesperson, who spoke about peace process, African Union, World Bank, fuel supplies, lots of issues related to Tigray conflict. Firstly, he confirmed that a committee has been formed by Tigray government to hold talks with Ethiopian federal government. At the same time, he said restoration of basic services is not subject matter of talks. It should be done by Ethiopian federal government. So it means talks will not be held before restoration of basic services. Secondly, he said that Tigray's negotiators committee could be bigger in coming days. More negotiators from Tigray could be included. More from civil society, from opposition parties could be included. He did not disclose the names of Tigray's negotiators. Speculations are going around that Getachew Assefa is one of the negotiators nominated by Tigray regional government. Speculations, no confirmation. If he is a negotiator named by Tigray government, will he be acceptable to Ethiopian federal government? Why? Because he is wanted. He is wanted. I think an Ethiopian court has issued his arrest warrants too. If Tigray nominates Getachew Assefa, former head of Ethiopian intelligence agency, I think, if he is nominated as a negotiator, what will Ethiopian government do? So names have not been made public so far by Tigray government. And Getachew said that names will be made public at the right time. He spoke about World Bank, and he said that it was very disappointing that World Bank was contacting Ethiopian government for reconstruction of Tigray. Ethiopian government destroyed Tigray, so how can it be sincere in rebuilding Tigray? And he said that all projects related to Tigray should be finalized with consultation of Tigray government, so that people on the ground could decide what is needed, which projects should be given priority. Who will decide that? Tigray government, Tigray people will decide, because they are on the ground. They know what are the needs and requirements in Tigray. And he raised questions about integrity of Ethiopian federal government too, that you cannot trust Ethiopian federal government with a jar of cookies. So that there could be financial misappropriation of the funds allotted by World Bank for these projects of Tigray. He said World Bank's allocation of money for Tigray was less than the allocation for a far region of Ethiopia. While Tigray is definitely in need of more such projects. Overall, we can sum up that Tigray wants to talk, but before that it wants resumption of basic services. Again, Getachew questioned the impartiality of African Union. He said African Union can have a role, but not leading role. So other mediators should be involved as well. There are issues regarding who will lead the talks, and will restoration of basic services be done before the talks or not. So several questions remain unanswered. Ethiopian federal government, its committee, negotiators committee, has held a meeting a few days ago, an internal meeting, and now it is being hoped that in coming days we could see first meeting between Tigray and Ethiopian federal government representatives. Before that, we could see some uh, resumption of basic services in Tigray. Let's hope. Fourthly, we have a new story from Western Tigray, from Humera, Volkai, Sagade, Ethiopia-Sudan border. And according to local government officials, an attempt was made to smuggle communication equipment from Sudan into Humera. But this attempt has been foiled. Some wireless communication devices, some wireless communication sets have been seized by government forces on Sudan-Ethiopia border near Humera. You can see some pictures on your screen. These are the wireless sets which were being smuggled into Humera from Sudan, but security forces seized these smuggled items. No news about the perpetrators who tried to smuggle these wireless sets. If seized communication equipment has been shown, those who were involved in this smuggling should also be shown, but no names, no details about the people involved in this smuggling. Lastly, we have a new story about Tigray Diaspora Festival, which has been cancelled. For days, we have been seeing a social media campaign for this Diaspora Festival, which kicked off in Washington, D.C. But after the first night, I think it was cancelled. Why was it cancelled? Because reportedly there was mismanagement, lack of capacity as well. People had to wait for hours in queues, and overall the festival was very poorly planned and organized. That is why the festival has been cancelled. Now, question is, this festival was a fundraising event as well for the people of Tigray. Who is behind the mismanagement? Funds were due to be collected for those who are suffering in Tigray. Some organizations organize this festival for years. UTNA, UTYNA, and Women's Association. These three bodies organize this festival. But this year there was mismanagement. Several Tigrayans have shared, diaspora members, they have shared their posts, their concerns that overall the event was very poorly organized. In recent days, we have been seeing preparations for this festival. A fashion show was being planned by a Tigrayan diaspora member. The lady was sharing videos of the preparation of the fashion show. We have got one video for you. But those who are involved in this mismanagement, they should at least apologize, because Tigrayan diaspora is very active these days. It is organizing programs to support the people of Tigray. More such programs are needed for the people of Tigray, because people of Tigray are in need of financial support from Tigrayan diaspora. But if such events are poorly planned, poorly organized, it wouldn't be good for the unity of the diaspora and for the people of Tigray as well. Watch this clip showing the preparations of a fashion show which was part of this Tigray diaspora festival. Thank you for watching.